Oh yeah, welcome to another episode of the Forever Better podcast. It is Wednesday, April 29th. Rocking my Jordan Jumpman hoodie in a light blue with the yellow Jumpman logo. Yeah, if you are just listening to this, otherwise go check it out. It's on YouTube, youtube.com/, Forever Better podcast. But damn, man, these quarantine times, or whatever you want to call it, lockdown life, it's some crazy times, man. Cause I've actually been eating all the pizza, fucking down two of them bad boys last night, and I feel like that's I don't know, in the past 5 weeks, just too many pizzas, because it's like you can't just have one, you got to get two. So been hitting up the local Domino's, getting my hands on some delicious pies. So even this hoodie, man, it's a large, and it's feeling a little bit tight on me, So gotta be careful of that. Might fall victim to the isolation 10, but I don't know, man. I'm feeling good. Not looking too bad. These a bit tight on the sleeves, but you throw up them bad boys, and you know, that's just to show I'm the new mayor of New Jack City. New mayor of New Jack City, throwing up them fucking pythons and double barrels. And yeah, in this new city, we've got zero cases of coronavirus, because you know how I do what I do. Things fucking right. But that's enough joking around, man. Let's jump into today's episode. So obviously, I am wearing this in honor of The Last Dance. Episodes 3 and 4 came out on Monday evening. I'm sure you've checked that out by now, because you ain't got shit else to do. So you've been looking for all the good shit to watch. But episodes 3 and 4 came out, and episode well, they were both had a little kind of focus on Dennis Rodman. So one of the all-time greats, one of the original, the OG bad boys of the game. And it was just, I know I said this before, but if you haven't watched it, like, even if you don't give a shit about basketball, it's such a good thing to watch, so you can kind of dive deep into the mindset of these all-time great players. Like, there'd be no other players kind of like them. These are the players that people compare current players to. And then yeah, like I said, you got Dennis Rodman this time. So, and it was crazy to see, because you look at the way that he played the game. Um, he didn't give a shit about scoring, and obviously his stats were all about the rebounds and everything like that. But just the way that he said, or what he said in terms of the way that he practiced, he would get his friends to go out and shoot the ball, and then every time landed on the rim or the backboard or whatever, he would kind of track the trajectory of it. So if it hit this part of the rim, that part of the rim, this part of the rim, that part of the rim, he would know where that ball was going after that, so he could position himself to get the ball back for his team. So that was such an interesting way to kind of, because I look, personally, I never really thought of it like that. Obviously, I'm not like a basketball player or anything, so I'm not, obviously I can't compare myself, but that would have been something that I would just never have thought of doing. You know what I mean? So just trying to track everything that way, just to make sure you're always in the right position to get the ball back for your team. Um, Obviously, one of the main highlights about the fucking bad boy Dennis Rodman was, um, obviously, his attitude, disappearing, going off to Vegas for a couple of days, being accepted for the wild man that he is. But this fucking bad boy was dating the hottest girls. Imagine that. However tall he is, 6 foot some shit, 7 foot some shit, fucking massive mountain of a man. And here's this guy wearing lipstick, got the fucking eyeshadow on as well, colors his hair, whatever color, yellow, pink, to look like fucking fairy floss. But he's dating and he's fucking dressed up like he's fucking Cruella de Vil or whoever, you know, wearing dresses and some of that feminine shit. But he's doing all this wild shit, but he's dating fucking some stunners of fucking women, man. Some dime pieces. Like he was dating Madonna back when Madonna was in her prime, you know. I'm not talking about the 90-year-old Madonna that we see today. I'm talking about the fucking, you know, prime Madonna, man. The when she was a material girl living in the material world, that type of Madonna. But not only that, fucking Carmen Electra as well. And I don't know. I don't know. I guess if you're younger, you won't really know Carmen Electra. But Carmen Electra now, like she's probably close to 50 years old, and you saw her in the documentary, she's still fucking banging. And you think about Carmen Electra back then, you know, mid to late 20s. Damn, man, she was fucking bad. You know what I'm saying? She fucking dime piece of all the dime pieces. Like she was on what? She was on Baywatch, you know. So she was one of the first to be running in slow motion. She was on Singled Out too. I think that's when I first got introduced to Carmen Electra back in the Singled Out days, man. That was a dope show on MTV, and I think they brought it back as well, actually. But that was in like the mid to late 90s, from what I remember, Singled Out. So remember her from there, and I think she had a little bit to do with the UFC as well. But then she even came out with that fucking those workout videos, like a little, I don't know if it was like a striptease workout type thing. Obviously I was still young back then, so you know I never bought it or anything like that. And the internet wasn't what it is today, so it's like it's not like you could download it or anything. I even think it was on VHS. You know what I'm saying? Ah, man, but damn, dude, this fucking bad motherfucker doing all this weird shit, dressing up like a female, but still pulling all the hot chicks, you know. But damn, man, Carmen Electra, she's such a fucking baddie. You know, I remember that little workout video that she did. Obviously, I didn't see all of it. They would show like little clips, probably on TV or whatever. But they would show like the front cover of the video, and that was just one of those things, man. You always want to see it. That little Carmen Electra video. I was like, wow, kind of reminds me of the days, you know, the Blockbuster days. It'd be like a Friday night, and you know there'd be a little slumber party. Be you, your cousins, either them sleeping over yours, you sleeping over theirs, and you know, one of the guardians, one of the legal guardians, would be like, let's get some pizza, let's go to Blockbuster, get a movie for this special occasion. It's a slumber party. So you know, you pull up to Blockbuster, you go inside, and you knew damn well that all the naughty movies were in, say, aisle number 5. Everything that you wanted was not in aisle number 5. You wanted aisle number 4. You know, you'd already been there 30 times before. You knew all the kids' movies were on aisle number 4, aisle number 3 and 4. But you know, being a young kid, you'd want to take a stroll past into aisle number 5, have a sneak peek at all the naughty movies. You knew damn well that your guardian was never going to let you hire one of those, but you wanted to take a sneak peek at the covers, you know. So instead of just going straight into aisle number 4, you will be like, you know what? I'm going to take the long way. I'm going to go into aisle number 5 and then go around and get the video that I wanted. So, you know, you'd walk into aisle number 5 and you'd be walking extra slow, you know, looking up and down at all the covers, you know, pretending like you're lost, looking up, around, down, and you'd always kind of take a little peek over your shoulder, make sure none of the staff, none of the adults could kind of watch and see what you were doing, you know. You'd just be, you know, pretending like you're out there sightseeing, lost in fucking Blockbuster. So you're just looking up and down, looking at all the naughty covers before you make your way around to aisle number 4, and then you'd leave Blockbuster with some dumb shit like fucking George of the Jungle or Dudley Do-Right or Major Payne or some shit like that. But that reminded me of that, man. She's Yeah, Carmen Electra, man, she's such a baddie. Um, but other than that, man, I feel like there's nothing to watch on Netflix. Even last night I watched. I don't even know what it was called, man, but it's got the guy from. Man, I'm taking it back to the '90s again. You remember the Hercules TV series? Um, Kevin Kevin Sorbo, I think his name was. He was the star. He was Hercules in the Hercules TV series. The same shit that had Lucy Lawless as Xena. Um, yeah, he was in the little thumbnail that was on Netflix. So it's like, fuck it. I just decided to watch it because I'm familiar with him. He brings me back to my childhood. And damn, man, that movie was just fucking. Did I waste 2 hours of my life watching that shit? Yeah, I did. But it's like, what else were you gonna do? If I didn't watch that, I probably would have just sat there on the couch staring at the ceiling. But it was just the weirdest movie ever. It was, Kevin was in there, Big Kev. Um, 30 minutes into the movie, I was like, I'm out, man. This isn't good. But what did I do? I kept my fat ass on the couch and watched the rest of that movie because we ain't got shit else to do. You know what I'm saying? Um, but what else, man? I don't know what you've been doing during these lockdown times. I get confused. I don't even know what to call it anymore. But I found myself last night. I was getting frustrated. You know what I mean? Because it was obviously it was. I felt like it felt really really late at night. But then I look at the clock and it was only like 7 p.m. and it was just like I still got a lot of day left, and I felt like I didn't have much to do. So I'm grateful that these podcasts are giving me something to do, man. I'm enjoying it. I feel like I'm getting more comfortable speaking, and it's for me. It's honestly not the views or anything like that. It's about putting out quality or putting out entertainment, um, and just doing something that I love, man. It's the couple hours in the day where I'm filming and editing and uploading and doing all of that stuff. It's kind of excites me a little bit. Um, but yeah, man, it was last night, I guess, well, the past couple of days, watching all that stuff kind of like took me back to my childhood. Big Kev reminded me of Hercules, and um, what's her name, Carmen Electra, reminded me of back in the day with the Blockbuster, and me constantly eating Domino's pizza, taking me back as well. But yeah, man, I don't know who remembers Blockbuster out there. I think you could hire video games as well, and I remember because we had a PlayStation back in the day, and my brother was hiring some PlayStation games on there. And it's like you couldn't save what you were up to because you had to take the game back anyways, which was a crazy thing. So um, but yeah, remember, man. Look, I've even considered buying a video game console, just so I have something else to do, kill time. Um, but remember video game consoles back in the day. Everything was wired, and kids these days they'll never understand that shit. They're growing up in all of this. Everything's wireless, now. And then we had that wired shit back in the day. Everything. And all the games were pixelated. These days everything's so fucking realistic. Back in our day, everything was just straight pixelated. And, the fire was pixelated. The shit was like 2D. You know, uh, all the punches coming around when you're playing Mike Tyson Punch Out were like straight. You couldn't get that left hook. You couldn't use the angles or anything like that. Everything was straight, man. Everybody had a big head. Their head was too big for their body. Um, and back when Nintendo 64 came out, and that was like the first time you could have more than two players playing at the same time. It used to be two players only back then, and that shit was cool, man. You'd have four controllers plugged in. The Nintendo 64 would come with one. You'd buy another one. If someone else is coming over, you'd be like, bring a controller, and you'd be playing all those wrestling games and all that shit. Whatever was 4-player, 3-player compatible, more than 2. Make it a party, and you'd be getting all excited, and one of your other mates that wasn't playing, that was waiting his turn, would kind of like walk past, and he'd try and lift his legs up, step over all the cables, but he'd always knock it down or some bullshit, and you'd all get angry at him, and you'd always have that one person that was, couldn't keep still when playing the game. Every time they moved to the left, they would move the controller to the left. Every time they moved to the right, they would go move the whole fucking controller to the right, move it all the way up, and then he'd fuck it up, and then he would pull too damn hard, and the whole console would fall, and you'd just be on the verge of you playing Mario, you'd be on the verge of beating Bowser, and then he'd pull too damn hard and he fucked it up, unplug the console, and you'd all be mad at him for his bullshit. Who remembers that, man? I don't know, man. I'm just out here telling stories, I feel like this episode's more of just a light-hearted conversation, just me talking shit, A lot of the time, I'm either talking shit or speaking facts. When it ain't fiction, it's facts, man. That's how I roll. Just taking a drink of water, Got that dehydration down in my throat. But those were the times, man. What else is going on with you guys? I mean, I'd love to know where you guys are listening from. And if you prefer the video, if you prefer just the audio, what is it that you like, man? Obviously, a lot of people got more time on their hands these days, and they're probably just camped out at home, preferring to watch the audio. Preferring to watch the video. But then when you're out and about, when you're going back to work, the audio might be a better situation for you all. But yeah, man, I can't get over that Dennis Rodman guy, man. He was getting all the hot chicks, He had the double nose piercing, both nostrils pierced. I've got the one nostril pierced, man. I'm considering getting the other one pierced, just so I can be like that bad, man, But I'm digging this hoodie as well, man. It's so comfortable, I never really had any basketball jerseys or anything like that growing up. I think I told you all that story about, my dad getting the, taking that jersey from me when I won it in the basketball cards. And he took it and he showed up one day. He didn't live with us. And he just showed up one day and he was wearing my jersey and he fucking crushed me, man. I still think about that jersey, It was probably like all-star jersey. It was an all-star jersey. Probably a legit one too. Not that fake shit that they be selling at Paddy's markets. And it will say something like, instead of Jordan on the back, it will say like fucking Jordan or some shit like that, man. Instead of an O, it will have an A. They'll kind of like modify the name slightly, because it was that fake shit. It was probably like a legit jersey. And they're pretty expensive, man. We didn't have a lot of money, so I think that's why it crushed me. I knew we couldn't afford a real jersey. So the fact that I won it but didn't get it, it was like, man, that shit was heartbreaking, man. But yeah, man, what else is going on with you guys? I hope you're all out there staying safe, staying happy, staying healthy, Yeah, man, if there's one thing you should do, I feel like, during these times, it's at least get your health together, because, I mean, who knows if some shit like this is gonna hit in the future. Especially for us younger people, we still got a lot of time left on Earth. So who's to say that something like this isn't gonna hit? And every time it hits, it's gonna feel like it's gonna, be even worse. So if there's anything, man, get your health together. So you're not as scared and worried about catching this shit. So yeah, man, get out there and get healthy. But at the same time, it's like, man, just try and find something to do, preoccupy your mind. Keep your mind sharp, so that when you get back to your regular routine, your regular life, you're all good to go. You don't have that warm up period where you just, it feels weird to be back out and about. I don't know what to do with myself, man. Keep your mind sharp. The worst thing you can do is just kind of like do nothing. That's fucking terrible, man. Do something where you're keeping your mind sharp, so you're all ready to go, ready to, when we come out of this, you go with guns blazing, back into your life. Because I know it's been hard to get into a routine at the moment, man. It's difficult, but read a book, get on Audible, listen to my podcast, But I feel like I'm gonna wrap it up there, man. I want to keep this one short and sweet, like I do, obviously. I think it gets harder. I was pretty focused on doing like a longer podcast before. Like I think my first episodes were about 50 minutes, 40 something minutes, and I was just thinking, I want to get the hour out. But if you think about it, man, people's attention spans, they don't like doing shit for that long. So I feel like I'm going to keep a few of them short and sweet for the time being, obviously, because there's nothing too exciting going on in the world. Well, I mean, if you watch the news, it's like fucking 20 hours of news, and it's just all on coronavirus. Who died next from coronavirus? What's going on with Kim Jong-un? And speaking of him, Dennis Rodman's mates with him. That's some weird shit. As if he couldn't get any weirder. Dennis Rodman is mates with Kim Jong-un. That was funny as hell. I remember he went to like North Korea a couple of years ago. Make peace with him or something like that. He was, one of the guys. Anyways, that's strange, man. But I'm gonna wrap it up. I appreciate you all as always. Love you all. Go check us out on YouTube. YouTube.com/Forever Better Podcast. If you are watching this on YouTube, go check out the Instagram. Instagram, Forever Better Podcast on Instagram. Tell me where you're listening from, man. I'd love to know, because it's it's just interesting. Like, how'd you find me? Just so I know what country you in, what you're doing during these lockdowns. And speaking of these lockdowns, actually, before I wrap it up, I keep thinking about little things to say. It's been fucking around with everything, because I was thinking about this the other day, but even even Tinder's been funny, because even on Tinder, it's like everyone's self-isolating. So there's like more people on Tinder because they're bored, but they don't wanna do anything. They're just trying to find people to talk to. They're just trying to find a little pen pal to talk to, rather than meet anyone, because it's too scared to go out. And even on Tinder, it's I don't know, man. I don't know if it's just me, but it's weird. Like there's girls showing up that are like 13,000 kilometers away. I think Tinder's giving you a free access to like their passport thing. So you can set your location to be somewhere different. So say if I want to pretend I'm in France right now, I can do that. So it's giving you like international pen pals. Obviously, it's like, what's the point, man? You ain't gonna meet this person. I guess people are out there just for a quick conversation during these times, because they ain't got shit else to do. But yeah, man, I think that was just a thought that I was thinking about last night. Because Tinder's been fucking around. Well, this lockdown's been fucking around with everything. I haven't been on a date in fucking 5 weeks. But yeah, like I said, I'm going to wrap it up there. Make sure you go follow us on our social medias. Appreciate you all, man. Love you all. Shout out to Culture Kings for this hoodie. Shout out to Jordan for that dope ass documentary. And shout out to you guys, man. I love you all. Take care. See ya.